That is the correct approach, because we've declared a state of disaster, and therefore a president is appointing a minister to be almost like a project manager of the crisis. So that is the correct approach.
Well, firstly, let me put it very clearly, and that is exactly what the Freedom Front Plus has predicted, that we're going to hear new and old promises from the president, and it appears that the last 6 State of the Nation addresses were cut and paste, and this has been his new address.
The situation in this country is that we always listen to these lofty ideals and plans, but we don't normally see implementation. President Ramaphosa this evening elaborated a lot of things he promises to do, but we have gone through this route before. And I don't think even if he appoints a minister of electricity, this will change, as long as we have not yet diagnosed what is the reason for the load shedding.
Government certainly does not have the funding, but if we see what the president is saying, it simply means he's going to go to the market and he's going to go and borrow again and again. There's 151 billion rand that we are now borrowing. Okay, only 3% of that is in the form of funding or grants. The rest of it you're going to have to pay back. We're already sitting with a 4.5 trillion rand debt in this country. And when I talk about 4.5 trillion, I'm not talking about local government and all other departments that are borrowing. So we have a crisis as far as the debt is concerned in the country.
Well, I think the big concern for us is the national state of disaster. We believe that it is ill-considered, and we saw the looting and maladministration that went on in the last state of disaster, as long as the stupid regulations that were being passed left, right and centre that actually end up harming the economy and killing jobs even more. We don't believe it's necessary to have a national state of disaster to deal with an electricity problem. You've now also appointed a third minister now to get in the way of getting through this energy crisis. So now we're going to have a third minister with electricity, Mr. Godon and Mr. Mantashe. 3 people getting away. We should get the politicians out of the way.
I must say that the speech itself was extremely disappointing, because that which was given was the repetition of what has been given to us for over 15 years. The president will come, make a presentation and not achieve anything at all. We had thought that he would come here and say, I spoke to you last year, I spoke to the people of South Africa, this is what I have achieved. But then nothing like that has actually come forward.
First of all, in summary, the whole address, I can put it as a long-winded narrative around ESCOM, load shedding, and the creation of new promises with no precise action plan, no policies. But what became clear, the president passed a vote of no confidence to ministers Gwede Mantashe and Pravin Gordhan. We really do not need a minister of electricity. We might end up with a minister of potholes, minister of pit toilets. All we need a minister that will deal with minerals and energy and resolve the crisis around electricity.